Joining us now from New York. It took me 3 days to get him on because he's very busy. He's at the UN meeting with all of the UN types all the time. He's a writer for WND. He's also the executive director of the American Jobs Alliance, a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show, and my good friend, fellow for the day New Yorker, Curtis Ellis. Curtis, good to have you, man.
It's always great to be here, John. My gosh, what a great day.
Curtis, we have a new theme song for Ted Cruz, the Seinfeld theme song, because, of course, Seinfeld was a show about nothing, and we just played a 2-minute clip of a speech last night from Cruz, and we determined after 2 minutes he had said absolutely nothing. So, therefore, he's our new Seinfeld candidate. Look, what did you think of the depth of Trump's victory last night?
It was incredible. It was great. It lived up and even exceeded expectations. I had said, if you play back the tape, you'll hear what I said yesterday, that out on Long Island, that's Trump country, Suffolk County, the land of the Hamptons, the golden lawns and gilded mansions and rich elitists, Trump got 72% of the vote. That's even a higher percentage that he got in Buffalo, in Rust Belt City. He just trounced everywhere, everyone. Even in Manhattan, where Kasich took Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, where we are both sitting now, but he did it by just a few hundred votes. I mean, Trump came close, even in Manhattan. And if you break it down on a neighborhood-by-neighborhood level, Trump's winning with every group, everywhere, all the time. It's just amazing.
Well,
even in my neighborhood, the East Village, Trump was taking some of these voting precincts. It was a great performance. It shows that Trump is the king, and Ted Cruz is the yada 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 guy.
You're trying to build something great, and you got this little mosquito like nipping at your ankles, and you're like, go away. But
well, we've seen that it's mathematically impossible for him to win on the first ballot. So his entire strategy now is about backroom deals and stealing delegates.
Right.
Okay, great. Take that to the people. That's a real winning strategy. That's a great winning message. And the fact that he can't say that is why he has to say nothing and has to say yada, yada, yada. He cannot honestly say what he is doing. What he is doing is making backroom deals and stealing delegates. And I'll tell you what, when it comes right down to it, even that strategy is destined for failure, because when it comes down to it and you have these delegates, you've got Mr. Snake Handler, Holy Roller, Snake Oil Salesman, Ted Cruz, with the unappealing face and the greasy hair on one hand, offering these delegates, go with me and I'll have my father guarantee a place in heaven for you after you die. And on the other hand, you're going to have Donald Trump flying these people around on his private airplane to go golfing in Scotland, in the best golf course in the world, or in Palm Beach, staying at Mar-a-Lago, or any other number of world-class resorts and golf courses. Where do you think the delegates are going to go? Who are they going to go with? When it comes down to the wining and dining and suborning delegates and offering them favors, since that's the game that Cruz says he wants to play, or actually doesn't say, but since that's the game that Cruz is playing, though he won't say it that way, when it comes down to that, where are they going to go? Are they going to go with greasy Ted Cruz, or are they going to go for a plane ride on Trump Force One to play golf in Palm Beach or in Scotland? What do you think, John?
I don't think they're going to go with greasy Ted. I don't think they're going to go with greasy Ted. Curtis, whenever you come on, I got to say, you make me laugh. When I get you on, the most difficult thing I have to do is not laugh so that I can go through the segment. Greasy
I try to put this in legalistic language. I always, when I talk with you, John, I always try to keep this on a very high level.
I'm sorry.
But I fail.
I know you fail, but you're so funny. But by the way, I steal your stuff all the time.
Oh, please. I give it away. You can't steal it because I gave it to you.
I hope that's okay. But what you said earlier about Greasy Ted is so right. Because the reason why.
Come on. With Ted Cruz, if he wanted to really talk about policy, because he doesn't, he just wants to yada, yada, yada all the time. If he should say, elect me, I will solve America's energy problem. You can tap my hair for oil. That'll solve our problems right now.
That's right. And it's fossil fuel free, right?
That's right. It's renewable source of energy.
I'm never going to. Every time I see
oil from the Saudis anymore, just go to my hair.
Drain it. Greasy Ted. Oh, that's bad. But what you said earlier is so true. Because before you came on, we were making fun of the fact that, we played this 3-minute clip, which he said absolutely nothing last night. So then we played the Seinfeld theme music because it was like, the campaign about nothing. But you just explained why it's the campaign about nothing that says nothing, because the only way he can be the nominee is by stealing the delegates. And he actually isn't capable of, he can't admit that. He can't say that. So he has to say nothing.
Right.
That is
again,
true.
Trump has exposed all of the lies that make up our system. Yet one more lie that's being exposed. Ted Cruz is being exposed as a fraud. He claims he's anti-establishment, but he's making backroom deals. He claims to be about
with the establishment,
conservative principles, but he's really using the system that was set up by, all these inside fixers. So, he's
exactly. The final thing I want to get your take on, Curtis, honestly, just a final thing, is that, he's going around saying, look, I'm the guy that can win, okay? And my argument has been, of the 3 candidates, he's the only one that absolutely has no chance of winning whatsoever.
No chance whatsoever.
He has no chance. And I ask all my listeners that are for Cruz, I say, give me a state that he can win, that Romney didn't win, and tell me why. And so far, I'm 0 for 1,000, right? Nobody can come up with a state this guy can win. But how do you maintain this argument when you go to New York, this is a closed Republican primary. You're from New York, as you know. You campaign in New York. This is a major state. And you get 14% of the vote. I mean, that is embarrassing. That's anemic. That's pitiful.
You come in dead
14%.
Yeah. I would point out to your listeners that when you get to upstate New York, you get further away, and I mean upstate, further than Westchester, out of the New York suburbs. You get beyond the New York suburbs, and you get further upstate, like towards Buffalo and way up there, western New York. These people look down on New York City. They hate New York City, right? They do not identify with New York City. So Ted Cruz had a better than even chance there. It's not like, oh, well, Donald Trump's from New York, so of course his home state's going to vote for him. No, these people hate New York City. I've lived up there. I've worked up there. I know. They hate New York City, and they see themselves as really culturally closer to the Midwest than it is to New York City. And the fact that Ted Cruz failed there just shows that nobody likes this guy. He has no chance.
That's my thing. He has no chance of being president whatsoever, no chance of winning. And so the people that are getting behind him to stop Trump, I could see if they were all getting behind Kasich, and their argument was, look, he can carry Ohio. He's a moderate. He's a liberal Republican. He's the alternative is worse. At least I wouldn't agree with it, but at least that's an argument. But to get behind Cruz and say, he's the only one that can win, he's the only one who can't win. So you know that it's a deal made with the devil from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly. He's a one-term senator who hasn't even finished his term. It's like Barack Obama. He's like Barack Obama of the right, only unlikable. Barack Obama, people, for some reason, they liked him. They were ready to pull a lever for him. He won primary after primary. Not this guy. He has less going for him.
Well, let's get to the Democratic side. I thought Sanders would do better than he did. He won the overwhelming majority of the counties in New York, but he got clobbered in the 5 boroughs. I thought he would do much better than he did in Brooklyn. I thought he would do better in Manhattan.
Right.
And I thought he would do better in Staten Island. He got crushed in Brooklyn, crushed in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why?
Yeah, he won. He won where none of the people are. If you look at the map of New York State, he won in all these counties where there are no Democrats and there are very few people at all. He took that. I mean, great. He did great up there, but yeah, in the city, I think part of it is New Yorkers are in the city. They look at him and like, yeah, okay, we like what you're saying, Bernie, but we just can't take you seriously. You're not gonna get the nomination, and even if you did, you wouldn't be able to do all this stuff. Free stuff. It's like I was over here in the East Village. That's where I live, in at Tompkins Square Park, where all the homeless are. And there were some Bernie people out there organizing the homeless for Bernie. More free stuff for everybody. And I'm not sure those people showed up to vote, though. I'm afraid all the people.
Homeless
all the people who stand
Bernie.
the most to win if Bernie's program were implemented.
Curtis,
I don't think they're registered to vote.
Where did we see that sign? Was that in New Hampshire?
Yeah,
Manchester?
That was in New Hampshire. The homeless for Bernie.
More free stuff.
Yeah.
That was an actual sign we saw in Manchester.
Yeah, they were right
it was a sign. I swear to God, we were walking in Manchester, and there was a bunch of homeless people, and they had made this huge sign, and it said, "Homeless people for Bernie, more free stuff."
Right. So, yeah, look, New York, despite the rap, despite what Ted Cruz says about New York values, all this nonsense, this is a hard-working city. You got to work hard to live here, man. Everything is so expensive. You are working hard. So to hear Bernie get up there and talk about free this, free that, everybody's like, yeah, right, thanks, later. Ain't going to happen, Bernie. Sounds good. I give you points for effort. I get goosebumps when I watch your ads, but it ain't going to happen, okay? That's what people think, the Democrats.
You were spot on, Curtis. You told me that his vote in the 5 boroughs just wouldn't materialize. I saw him get 30,000 in Columbus Circle, 25,000 in Long Island City, 20,000 in Central Park, and I'm like, look, you can't get all these people out. They've got to material. It's got to mean something. It just didn't mean anything.
Yeah, and New York has they put laws in place to keep people from voting. You have to you can't just sign up and register for a party. If you are already registered in one party, or if you're already registered as, say, unaffiliated, where you haven't declared a party, you have to go the year before to change your registration.
Yeah,
right? The year before. They did that on purpose so that people wouldn't change the registration to vote in primaries, specifically to prevent that. Because that's what they do upstate New York, is they get all the Republicans will go, or all the Democrats will go and register into the Independence Party. That's with a CE at the end. There's an actual party called Independence Party. And they'll all register as independents, and then they'll vote in either the Democratic or the Republican candidate to have that ballot line. So, I mean, it gets all weird up there. It's like the Congo. They have all these factions fighting each other, and you don't know who's really in charge of which army that's fighting the other army.
All right, Curtis Ellis. Do they still? I got to go, but do they still have when I was here? They had the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party in New York City. Do they still have those?
Yeah, they did. The Liberal Party fell away. Nobody voted for them, so they lost their ballot space. But the Conservative Party is still there. And now they've got the Independence Party, which basically you pay somebody enough money, you can get your candidate on their ballot line. It's really a nice New York operation. Very clean, transactional.
All right, Curtis Ellis, good to have you with us. We got to meet. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. Curtis Ellis, American Jobs Alliance. Go to Obamatrade.com, Obamatrade.com, and he has just coined Greasy Ted. Jeez, I got to go.